standings, and a win could make the difference in tying for 8th place versus being alone at the bottom of the table in 10th again. They've already netted more wins in summer than in the spring split, and so that's an improvement there. And they do not have to finish this year alone in last place again, like I said.
We'll see what they have for picks and bans. Kench, Kindred, Morgana. There's so much more power come from this Tom Kench lately. Aatrox, Nocturne, and Akali.
Rakan, Braum, easy.
Yep.
Yeah, go for one of those two.
And Braum?
I was just saying, one of those two, I was like...
I'd take it.
Yep.
Support lane. What do we got here for Golden Guardians? They could take a Varus quite easily. Definitely has been loving the mages in that bot side throughout the season, but hasn't had to play, or got to play too many as of late.
You know what's funny is Zoe used to be blind here, and he comes out.
Never mind.
The donger.
Never mind.
Ah, the Heimer Fingerdiddle.
Heimer Fingerdiddle. They're in there. All right, so this is going to be a treacherous bot lane where Stixxay and Biofrost are going to pull their hair out every 2 seconds from crows and little turret missiles.
Yeah, they're like, go ahead, play Xayah Rakan. Play whatever you would like. This lane is really annoying regardless of who you are. Granted, I actually think Rakan is pretty good into them because you get to engage later, and the Fiddlesticks is basically paper. But there is still that caveat of you had to get through the lane phase unscathed.
Ooh, a Trundle, Ahri. See Ahri on the other side, that would be pretty sweet.
Bobchin, like I said, mostly know him as an assassin player. LeBlanc, right up his alley. The control mages haven't always been his forte. We'll see what they pick here. Jungler, I think, would be one of the easiest things to pick, unless you're going to pick something top. And then, oh, Contracts actually, throwback to the Rengar would be interesting. I don't think he'd do it. Yeah, the Graves. I think Graves is a counter pick to Trundle. You pick it here so it doesn't get banned. And you give priority over. So now you have a winning bottom lane, a shoving bottom lane, and then you have a winning jungle matchup. So they could definitely dive bottom very early on in the game and play the kind of the Golden Guardian strategy that got them a lot of the wins.
Yeah, early leads, early impact, and then being able to kind of crest that into the late game. 4 more picks to go. Interesting that the thread coming in on Reddit states 5 champions have yet to be picked, which is actually pretty damn good for an entire season. But Shaco, Tryndamere, Diana,
Annie,
and Vi.
And I told the players about it.
Will they choose any?
It's not my fault.
We got Ryze on that ban list. It does look like a very Golden Guardians composition, as you were saying. Aggressive, can continue fighting if they want early, and in on to the wee hours of the Rift. LeBlanc banned out from Bobchin there, hitting a few home picks for him, so he can't come out feeling comfortable.
Yeah, like I said, and we've talked about where mostly the LeBlanc for him. I wonder, though, because like Zoe has fallen down so far in priority, because I think Fizz must have jumped up in scrims as this just obliterates Zoe. You throw it at the bubble, throw it where it was before, you dodge the bubble with Playful Trickster. That's how you counter an annoying champion. You just play an equally or more annoying champion. That is the hardest of hard counters.
I always ban it.
That's what you do to the most annoying
LeBlanc, throughout the longest time, was the first champion where I was like, if you can't beat it, learn it.
Really?
It annoyed me so much when she used to silence you and overtake you. And Could
you actually learn it?
Yeah, I learned the heck out of it. Absolutely. That was the time Hotshot was getting really good at it, too. So it was easy to learn.
If you can't beat it, try to learn it. Fail miserably. Return to banning.
Orianna on the side for Golden Guardians, a great pickup for Bobchin. Still, and that'll be nice for the mid lane here, and they can.
He's gonna do it, Stixxay. Come on.
Hey. Oh, he's rotating all of them.
And
what a nice
Diana.
Guy.
Diana.
Hey. What a good guy. Playing to the hearts of the fans, and he is going to have to pick what he needs for the rest of the team here. His Varus is locked in, so he's gonna be looking for a top or mid, and he's gonna walk the plank up there for Darshan.
Ooh, and this means that counter pick potentially for your boy Lorlo in the top.
Does he? Bring it out. You're a star, who he do it.
I actually don't think it's awful here. I actually think it's not terrible. There are some better picks, but I don't think it's terrible here.
You have good follow-up.
Into the Orianna.
Rakan into Ori.
Yeah.
Have Gangplank's ultimate.
Oh.
What a trade.
Ori top, do it. Pick the Fizz. Ori can hit barrels, it's fine.
What do we have? Going in for Lorlo. It says they got a pretty big team. Do I need to gnaw her out? Do I need to do something else?
Yeah, the Gnar would be really easy to play into it.
Yeah.
It's kind of the thing you play into the GP.
Boom.
Hit the barrels, contest them, and there you go. Easy clap.
All right, so sweet compositions. Definitely a Golden Guardians line up with that Heimerdinger and the fiddle in the bot side. I was saying, definitely he expressed so much that he loves playing the Vlad. He loved playing the Heimer after he learned it. So he's gonna have a smile on his face coming out to this one. And a lot of CLG has what they love to play.
Did you know he was taught by Heisendong himself?
No.
Yeah.
I heard that was a pretty good thing to get on board with.
Yeah. Legend has it. That's all available on his YouTube as well.
Yeah. See, I didn't. I went the way of watching Jack do it, which was still pretty good, but I'm just not Challenger now.
Did you know that Heisendong taught Jack as well?
If that's a game of telephone in the end,
Everyone
man, you're not going to learn as much as the first person gets taught.
He is the one who teaches. But still, going to be definitely the one who's pretty much had Heimerdinger banned against him for most of the split after he brought it out.
Absolutely.
And then when they were able to combine it with the fiddle sticks.
Break it up,
Yeah, they try to break it up, either ban the Heimer or ban the fiddle, because when they combine them, they have this power kind of bottom lane that they're able to play through. And with the Graves, like I had said before, there's a bottom lane focus here for Golden Guardians with a split push top. And then Counter Logic Gaming, they can actually play through their mid and their bottom lane too, but the GP is going to have kind of a little bit of momentum, get to the point where he can match the Gnar and then ulti the bottom lane and make something happen, because I'm watching Biofrost for the engages like I always am in CLG games.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Still remember Biofrost when he came into the LCS. I believe he was playing Karma a lot of games on TSM.
The Bard.
Ban the Bard, flashing forward just to get Karma tethers on and start a fight. He was an aggressive player to start. Yeah, Still has that here and there.
I don't remember if I called him a god in his first game or not. But yeah, it's something like that. It's like his first game or his second week. One of those two things.
It's like, who has the most nicknames? Is it Biofrost? Throughout a season? Bio Daddy, Bio God. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, I bet everybody calls him Bio Daddy in game. Like as soon as they get in game, yeah.
I don't know. Do games usually go to single syllables in any competition? You know what I mean? You'd be like Bio.
Oh no.
Right?
I'm just saying, like, your enemies or like in solo queue, right?
Yeah.
You know, Freak cannot get into a game without somebody saying that he has no mana. Like every single game, without fail, somebody asks Freak if he has mana or not.
This is when you know you've made a great impact on your community.
Don't know if he was the one that was happy.
Confirmed, he has some right now, so
Sure,
it's okay. Just when he gets on the rift, he must have a hole in his pocket. Starting into the game, no aggression here as everybody sets up the line of scrimmage to see what's on the menu. Infernal Drake will start us off, so that could get a little spicy early in the game. But we have Orianna versus that Zoe mid lane. Bob Chin's Ori as he was pushed off LeBlanc to Huhi's Zoe. We'll have to see how that goes to start.
Yeah, because they blind picked for Bob Chin, saying that top lane was actually the more important role to counter pick, when they could have prevented something like the Zoe coming through, which means that Huhi probably would have played maybe the Orianna himself. But Bob Chin just goes with the Ori, picks up the cleanse, kind of does due diligence there in summoners. And now the bounces! The lane.
That becomes fun. Matt can control that bottom brush. It becomes so annoying, even if you have vision.
Yeah, he's not alone controlling it, though, because you have turrets. Hold on, though.
Oh, yeah.
Lorlo actually going to get ganked very early here from Wiggly. Wiggly, I believe, has Pillar. Yeah, he went Q into Pillar. Whoop.
Quick hit, no hop there. Still level 1 for the top laners. The flash comes through just to make sure they didn't miss anything.
Yep.
Wiggly wanted that hit.
Wiggly went for the flash there just to kind of make sure Lorlo doesn't get to the point where he can flash over. But hey, reduced death timers level 1. He's back.
Just wanted to back fast, get some refillable potions. He's good to go. Scuttle will be top side as we see contracts on bottom.
Yeah,
Should be going for their blues just after.
It's a good call, though, because I think it was Double Lift that after the TL Golden Guardians game, the last time they got to play that Heimer and the Fiddle, it was, rule number 1 of League of Legends is do not chase sin. Rule number 2 is do not gank Heimerdinger. So Wiggly knows the rules by heart, goes to the top side of the map, ganks Lorlo successfully there. And you pretty much only get Pillar level 2 if you're going to gank,
right,
or you're going to do a Scuttle Crab, because it knocks the Scuttle Crab and removes the bonus resistances. And
I see you.
Going for level 3 here. If he kills, yep, wow, he just like, he love tapped it. He actually smited it.
Yeah, smite down
So-
left tap. It looked crazy out of Fog, though.
He's
Gets
like,
the jump
no,
out of Lorlo, so they say, hey, Lorlo's been a guy they can look to for a bit of power, a bit of strength in those
Hey,
lanes.
here's the level 3 dive
Come on.
bot lane.
I feel like there's a little deja vu using that crystal ball to see this before as Irene. Oh, the kill onto Matt as they trade back. Contracts can't really take a few more turret shots for himself.
Wait.
And Lorlo and Darshan are toying between turrets here as he is keeping him from backing. Should be able to get a turret or a
This is
barrel
the
in
top lane.
range.
This is not the
This is an
normal
interesting
lane.
play right here. Because he also has Wiggly farming out the Krugs
Yeah.
at this point, so the turret's just denying so many minions, and Darshan can still farm.
Don't do it, Lorlo. I was like, don't try to hop off his head to get back to the lane. But also this means that the lane is going to shove towards Darshan. I would say the technical term here is Lorlo is kind of screwed.
Yeah. You really get your wave manipulated that much in the early game. It's so hard. So what do you, as Lorlo, what's the easiest way when you know your wave is forced to push? We'll actually see this bottom lane first before we get back into
Yeah,
that.
you either suck it up and you just take the deficit and let him beat you, or you call your jungler. But I feel like the jungler has bigger fish to fry in the bottom lane here. Stixay and Biofrost actually both hit level 3 here off that. The fear and then the silence. Biofrost can't even retaliate because the bounce of the silence is just, it obliterates them. Biofrost can't even W. And hey, he calls his jungler.
Ooh. See if they can fry this fish. He knows all about marine life. Darshan stays safe. Stays okay with the orange.
Yeah.
Like teleport was just used back to lane, so that would have been a very long walk back for him and great timing for Golden Guardian.
Darshan is trying to freeze it still. He's like, nope.
Nope. Stay off the turret. There's no way that's not reaching the turret. So it will push slightly. You won't get too much of a reset on the wave here. Darshan should build up a little bit, so it'll go back the other way. Ooh.
He's like, I don't even care about
I'll
this
just take
CS.
the experience.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he is just trying to bully him really hard now. Up 12 CS, 5 minutes in. Granted, he hasn't really hit like a item breakpoint that's substantial where it's like Sheen to Doran's items, but you see Lorlo has gone for just 2 Doran's items, and that item advantage will eventually manifest because it's components to 2 items that are just dead-end items.
Few long swords for Stixay as he returns the lane. We haven't seen that back yet from Golden Guardians, and this may trigger Wiggly to get in. You'll see the frozen domain go down, but wait. Out of the wings comes Contract, so they might try to trade the play around. He still wants to fight first, feeling like they can get the damage in. Stixay cannot really close that gap as they take down Matt. That's the second kill onto him. Biofrost low, but it looks like he can make it out as Wiggly stands in front of the buckshot and takes it all. Great kills by Counterlogic Gaming.
Yeah, you can't shoot through people with the passive of Graves now. He actually, it just absorbs the bullets. So he takes one for Biofrost, says make it home safe. That was so much damage though. I have no idea how Matt got blown up there, but that's the difference between when you take the Airy versus when you take the Aftershock on the Fiddlesticks. The Airy is for the poke, the Aftershock's for when you fear somebody, you're able to get all these extra resistances. Let's see here.
Do it again.
When he actually uses the CC, because I don't know if Matt even got the fear off. Yeah, he gets it on Biofrost, but Biofrost actually still, he buffered through it because he had the W on. So, yeah, doesn't even interrupt the animation. There's Red Smite on Biofrost too. It's like, oh, you can't get him.
Oh, not a bullet made it past Wiggly.
Yep.
Wow. He cut that cone off immediately. Big plays.
I mean, Wiggly is actually looking really sick. Like,
Yeah,
let's just talk about his last 2 games. When he played the Graves, he popped off. He had an amazing performance on it. He went 5-0-6 on it.
But they also had a victory in Academy as well. So.
Yeah, and yeah, they're also 3-2 in Academy, right? In terms of they went from their quarterfinal was 3-2. They're moving on to the semis for CLG. But yeah, having good performances there. 5-0-6 on the Graves yesterday. 2-0-1 right now on this Trundle. Upset the top lane, went exactly where he needed to be. And then he went to the lane where we were saying this is not a lane that you want to gank as a jungler at all, almost ever. But Biofrost able to find his way in, and it's just the Biofrost-Wiggly synergy seems really good in terms of the way that they're playing.
For sure, had to find a little different footing this year as well with Counterlogic Gaming, moving over a bit from C9, figuring out what was going to be the deal there, and really coming together now on this team. Get hit there as they go tit for tat in the mid lane from Bobchin and Huhi. Jungler presence, accordingly.
Oh, Contacts goes in, but there's Wiggly.
Miss on the shockwave. They got to realize Bobchin's out of mana and Contracts. Quick draws himself into the death of Huhi and Wiggly.
And,
Oh.
yeah, went right back. But yeah, Huhi doing a decent job there, and Wiggly showing up over the red buff. So Contracts couldn't see him because he put the ward over. It's deactivated, and then Bobchin with the ultimate, not able to make it stick either. It's kind of all over the place for Golden Guardians. We see this one more time here. The ward goes over. Wiggly, they don't see him till now. He comes out. Shockwave flashed away from by Huhi. And then, Contracts is blown up there. And Wiggly is just even further ahead. 2-0-2. Missed out on 1 kill. Highest KP on the team. And he is playing for the team. He has now upset the top lane. He has upset the bottom lane. And he has upset the mid lane. And I think effectively, he has just upset Golden Guardians.
Oh, Darshan gonna get scooped back here for Contracts. He could live a little bit longer. Wiggly's on the edge. He's still gonna try to get aggressive on this one. Knows he's huge. He's just on the backside, bubbled through the right side of the wall, but it's not actually gonna reach. Just the Paddle Star came out first, but that kill for Huhi actually gave him double buffs to head back to mid lane with, we just saw. So things are really working out for CLG here in the early game.
Yeah, they lose Darshan though in the top side. True. And so Lorlo with the split push, might get a little bit back here. The Sheen now comes through for Darshan. And then the items for Lorlo, he wants to get a good back off. Ooh, Stixay. You are playing with fire, friend. If there comes a ulti and a grenade, better watch out.
It always becomes an interesting part in the lane. I've said this before, but it's like you have 100 HP or 100% in lane, but then you die. But when you have like 100 HP, you're able to stay alive under your turret forever, or close to. Just play that safe all the time. You see here in the top lane as Darshan went down.
Good scoop there. I like that from Lorlo shoving him towards Contracts instead of shoving him towards the wall. And then they come in, and this is also for pressure too. Like normally, if the gank isn't gonna work, at that point you're ganking for the CS. You're ganking to keep the minion wave at the guy's turret. That one gets Huhi in.
Just on the edge, they look to silence onto Contracts. Beautiful dodge. Deny the damage. Yeah, the clockwork windup is there from Bobchin's passive, but it looks like Wiggly's gonna get that retribution kill. Kill secured. Coming in from Darshan is now they are on to Bobchin and take him down, flash and all.
And Biofrost with the roam to help him out. That is the teamwork from CLG coming up huge. 3-0-3 for Wiggly.
Just gonna say that. You're reading my mind. This guy is on fire. See what else they can try to produce. He's moving down from the top of mid already, and it does not look like they will stop as they prepare to activate here on the bot side. It looks like it'll be Dragon first, as they say, we're getting too much. Let's start picking up the objectives so we can get them refreshed.
You're not supposed to get the objectives as CLG here. Heimerdinger Fiddlestick's supposed to control the bottom lane.
Super oppressive.
Keep the other bottom lane underneath their turret, and then they're supposed to be able to rotate towards the dragons because the turrets will tank them. It's a lot of damage, and that is CLG just using the pressure that they've gotten, and that's Golden Guardian playing to the top side.
The scoop and the swoop. Can he make it out, though? This looks like it's going to be the flank for Darshan. Slowing down. Who's going to get that blue buff refresh? Ooh, looks like Contracts picks it up.
Yep, that one goes over to Contracts. 2-3-2, trying to get back in this game because he has the counter matchup, but he can't bully the Trundle at all right now. And this is your Ace or Predator replay here, where Bobchin starts this off on the right foot with the ball into the Shockwave, catching Huhi, but then a good counter bubble, and then it forces Bobchin to flash to finish off the kill, and then Wiggly able to turn it around. The ultimate, just keep him tanky. The ultimate from Darshan, and then the ultimate there from Biofrost. Good tag team.
It's kind of like there's one collapse, there's always a second collapse, and if you're able to make a third collapse, which CLG seems to be doing, that's when you have the win, that last rotation in the fight. Who has been moving?
It's the roll call. You trade 1 for 1, but then who else is showing up here? Gotta watch out for Matt's ulties. Controlling that brush.
Just wait for the minions. No way you want to walk out there in a minefield of turrets, if you will. I guess that works. Minefield of turrets.
Turret field.
Turret field of mines. Yeah. Wiggly taking red buff. And he will head back towards mid, just get some coverage, and make sure everything is safe on that lower side for Bobchin. Infernal Drake up next as well for a little bit more damage. We just saw Wiggly take the previous one, so we got some time before that objective fight. 87 to 86, top side, holy macaroni. Bobchin really taking a sting on that one.
Yeah, Luden's Echo, Electrocute, all of that behind it. And so now it's just clean the wave.
Oh.
Yeah, that's kind of the flank, the pinch in. Matt, you gotta control the bottom half. And Stixay, Yomu's Ghostblade, he's gone for the poke build, definitely.
Oh, possibly just start with Chain of Corruption, but he looks for the Hail of Arrows slow to nail Chain
I like
of
that.
Corruption.
That's showing that he knows there's no pressure. Because if you walk forward and you threaten it, and you're faster than them but in terms of movement speed, you're going to catch them. So you don't have to throw out the Chain of Corruption immediately. You Hail Arrows for the slow, and then force it. Or you even juke them, and if they aren't doing it off a reaction, they flash nothing. Look at this. Hey!
Yeah.
It's a four-man strong!
Pink Ward's not going to do too much for showing that vision, but it is going to be a TP to the bot side. Lorlo wants to complete this with no Narvar, so he comes out empty, but that may help in the damage, and the attacks the slow. Over towards who he misses one boomerang with the hop, and Darshan's ready to activate on this one as they get a Drowsy onto Lorlo. Is the continuation there for the fight? Barrels in, Lorlo actually flashes. This one going very much in the flow of CLG. Good double hit on the command shockwave, and that's Rakan going down. Now they're going to take down Darshan for his teleport. He gets nothing out of the cross-map play, and GGS pick up a little bit for themselves.
Now, Biofrost just stopped moving there for a second, just standing still, and then Bobchin just lands a really easy shockwave. It looked like he was just kind of being like a halfway point or something, but great dive here from CLG to start it off. They end up killing deftly. The focus here is Fuhi, and then he gets away. Wiggly flashes, buys time, but it's just kind of buying time for the collapse here from Darshan, who had to kind of book it all the way down. And then this bubble baits them in a bit. They feel like they can commit, but then Bobchin has the ultimate. This is where Biofrost just kind of chills. Oh. Then he realizes, yeah, I'm gonna get ulti. I don't think they knew that Orianna was there and ready with ultimate. Yeah. So Bobchin kind of gets the sneaky heads-up play on them, and that gets Golden Guardians right back in it.
The fights are so scattered, and there's a lot of people involved, so it feels like it's over, which is why you would kind of say, how the heck does an Orianna still have ultimate? Very chaotic in these dives and how long they're lasting. Here, I got another 2v2 on the top side of the map, which might see rotation coming in from Bobchin. He just puts a vision ward out. It looks like they're left to their own divides up here as they trade back and forth. No kill to come through.
2v2 top side, just leaving the bottom lane alone. It's kind of a poke bottom lane. 6A is going for the Lethality Arcane Comet build, where you just poke constantly, but that doesn't really synergize too well or as well with the Rakan. Rakan wants to go for hard commits, so you poke him down, then maybe you go for the all-in. Oh my word. Didn't even have to bubble him.
I hear that a lot.
Don't want to talk about it.
16 minutes on the clock. Moby boots from Matt so he can keep himself fast around the rift. Definitely's got to build up to his Luden's Echo, so the ultimates may really start to put a real big punch on these fights if they can get them centered around one core area.
Yeah, and especially since that Infernal Drake is coming up now, that's going to be a place that both teams want to group. Golden Guardians want to be able to equalize the Infernal Drakes and kind of make it a moot point. And then CLG, they want it to just snowball on top of this. Contracts getting the Rift Herald here on the top side so that he has this objective and the map becomes asymmetrical and they can play to the bottom side only here. You need to get your backs in, get your completed items right beforehand. Lorlo's sitting on 1,500 gold. Doesn't have teleport. And there's actually 1,600 gold for Huhi right now. And that was first turret. First turret went down in mid lane.
Nice chunk of gold and about a 2,000 gold lead. Counterlogic Gaming here. A lot of clearing out from Matt. Really wants to be able to use that Crow Storm and Dark Wind from the fog. And it looks like they're actually just going to push ahead strong into mid with Shelly.
Yep.
No reaction from the bot lane.
Wait.
Yeah, here they come.
There you go. That's going to put pressure mid. They have to kill Shelly real quick.
Easy peasy.
What? Sleepwalking. The Infernal Drake is up. Need to get your backs in now, especially Huhi and Styx. They both have a lot of gold they're sitting on. Same with Contracts, though. And Lorlo. Actually, everybody's just kind of... Their pockets must be hurting right now.
Hot pockets.
I guess they must be heavy pockets. Hurting means you're poor, I guess. Nice. Started off, yeah, because they saw Contracts on the top side. Contracts made an oopsie. Spotted on the top side here. One for Scuttle, and that's going to be second Infernal for CLG. No contest.
That's going to feel very nice, especially to take the stuff away from all of the poke and crap you're going to get hit with from the side of GGS. But yeah, you're against the Zoe. But those dark wind is super annoying, especially when you're trying to bunch around turrets for late game, get yourself into a good position.
And it's going to help out Stixay a lot, because it's
Yeah,
this lethality
absolutely.
build, it really thrives.
I felt that.
Yeah.
That was painful.
There's like certain break points and you kind of feel it more, because when you have armor penetration, like the AD is just going to go a longer way, right?
Yep.
So you're going to get more of it through. And I like that. And the fact that they have those two Infernals, a lot of times we talk about, oh, you know, Infernal Drake versus Ocean Drake versus Mountain versus Cloud. It's like, oh, these ones are better than others. But it's like here, Infernal Drake is absolutely fantastic for CLG. 4 of these guys really want to use it. The Trundle, the GP, right? You don't have like a dedicated tank on it. And so this, and Stixay makes a ton of use of it early on too, instead of having to wait for, you know, a lot of marksmen go for a crit item, like Storm Razor, into an attack speed item. And so this is just more AD stacking on top of each other. You don't have to make those kind of breaks for attack speed. So you have even more AD than you normally would on top of it, because you go for these 2 damage items into the Infernals.
You get a slight bit of attack speed from his passive.
Yep.
It's nice. Feels good when you can start really racking it up and get those enemies or minions to fall down. 20 minutes coming up on the clock. We've said those 2 Infernals, but also 30 seconds on to Baron. Now, is that a fight that really CLG wants to take? Grouped up, Shockwave, Lorlo's Gnar could be built up. You're also looking at that Heimer and the Fiddle we've been talking about.
Yeah, but you gotta watch Golden Guardians too, because now lane swap's coming through. There's the TP from definitely to get to the top side. They were caught a little bit unawares. And they use that teleport to rotate him up, keep him on the top side. You also have to worry about the Heimerdinger potentially sneaking a Baron. It's very easy to do so. They're looking
Good
for
call.
Bobchin. Portal dumped into
down. Pillar goes out, trying to flash forward, land the bubble. No hit on that one. Bobchin gets out safely with a quick shield. And ulti down for Darshan. I don't think we had too much more other than a chase there.
Yeah, it's a flash though from Bobchin, so
Yes.
the next one will stick unless he can actually cleanse out of it, which is interesting because he maybe could have just cleansed the bubble, but he's going to take more damage, so decides not to risk it. There you go.
Man.
Talk about how annoying the Heimer is. This is kind of why, like, people are saying, oh, why is the Varus build, like, now this lethality stuff? It's way better to go lethal tempo, crit, like, on hit.
Oh,
But
hello.
This is why, because when you get to this point and you snowball, it's kind of a win more build. It doesn't make you, like, get ahead in the game, but it's one where if you're winning, you're just going to win even harder.
It looks like they're going to try to do that 5 strong to the top. How do Golden Guardians react? This is obviously going to be 1 turret, but if CLG can bait them into another fight, they may be all the way down that top lane. Inside tracked by Wiggly and Uki, and it does look like they'll just let this one be 1 turret. Not enough forward vision just yet for CLG, and they trade turrets on both sides.
You can tell both these teams are taking this game very seriously, because this is the last game that they will play in 2018.
Yep.
On stage, right? Both these teams have no postseason, not enough championship points or anything of the like here for these guys to potentially make Gauntlet or Worlds. So this is the final game of 2018 for both CLG and Golden Guardians. And you want to have it end on a win, and you want to prove to your fans that you can make some of those right decisions in the future.
Yeah.
Like, even just bringing Wiggly in and giving him some experience here means he might be groomed for the future. An academy moved on to the semifinals for Golden Guardians. Somebody like Bobchin, 3-1-1 right now, showing he actually can perform too, and getting him that experience on stage for 2019.
So much damage.
Biofrost?
Oh, right onto Bobchin. Can he get the protect down? Crowstorm comes in to really disperse the fight. Great job by Matt to separate that. A shockwave over onto Kugi, but Bobchin is right in the middle still. He can't exit with the team. They're forced to back off, but Contract still wants a bit of the fight, pitching himself inside the wall. That's not going to be good as he gets closed down on by Huhi and the rest. And what a turnaround for CLG to disperse on the Crowstorm.
He's got another flash. Don't know who he's going to go for it. Wait.
Ooh, ultimate into the missiles for Definitely. It did not come up with a kill. Lorlo feels like he can do a bit of damage to at least stop what could be a Baron here.
Yeah,
for
they're
CLG.
moving towards that area right now. And Darshan has a barrel set up. Click.
Oh, good flash.
wait,
Almost
no.
got popped up on the second one, but still gets hit up. CLG very fast with the fingers to make that one work.
Yep, have the control ward down, so they just have complete and absolute control of that area. And they just pounce. They make the pick happen, and that gets them further ahead now. The 2 Infernal Drakes, now they have that 4,000 gold lead. So it's actually a really kind of now solid lead instead of one that's kind of hanging in the balance, 1,000, 2,000. This is where they break the game open. go in.
Way too far forward.
Yeah. Bobchin can't really get out. He doesn't have flash anymore from before. Uses the shockwave, and then he just sacrifices himself.
Yeah.
Runs towards the left side. Matt almost dies and has to blow his flash. And then Contracts, it's like, wow, this GP Ultimate lasts a long time. It does. It does. Pops the Zonias to pick up the, he picked up a Zonias, popped it to pick up a flash, and he picked up more flashes and then an ignite. One of the flashes keeping him, okay, Huhi, now you're just showing off. Flashes to pick up a redemption.
Why not? Work on your flash. Practice in game. Yeah, Darshan also leveling up as most Gangplanks do that fire at will first. They're usually into Death's Daughters, they get a little more impact damage, but Contracts was like, I don't want this. Get me out of the situation. And it's a situation CLG has been forcing them into. Vision control snuffs out a lot, but right here, the vision control for Golden Guardians has been upped a little bit, which allows them to hit Stixay, and here comes Biofrost out of the woodwork. Contracts in a bad situation, but he's able to back off. And they get that top turret for Mountain Drake in the favor of CLG.
Yeah, bit of a funny exchange on the top side. A few whoopsies there, the ultimates back and forth. But they do get the turret, they trade it for the Mountain Drake. So that's 3 Drakes over to CLG, who are looking good in objective control. But then Golden Guardians, they got that mid turret off of the Rift Herald, and then they've been able to get these turrets on the side. So they get all 3 of the outers down first. It's just that bottom one that they have to worry about on the side of CLG.
Jeez, money bags.
Yeah, whoa.
Just putting wards everywhere. So they'll be able to clear these out, make the Baron pit nice and safe for an engage on the Golden Guardians. And that's exactly what CLG need. You can't have definitely setting up turrets first or anybody else in line to take you down. 25 minutes. Second tier turrets have yet to be broken up on the side of, I guess, CLG or Golden Guardians at this point. But CLG is waiting for those perfect fights, and they're able to find them so far.
Yeah, they've been doing a good job of controlling vision. Pretty much as a team, it's not just Biofrost, but Biofrost, you look down at his vision score, double what Matt has at the moment, 66 to the 32. Yeah. He's just been doing work there alongside Wiggly, who's both putting in a whole bunch of effort to control a lot of his objectives. Because Wiggly got that large advantage early, we talked about him all during the early game. 5, 1, and 3, pretty much the most fed person in the game in terms of scoreline with high kill participation. It's the fact that he was able to bully the Graves and allow them to establish vision control. Yeah. That's kind of what they're doing here. Because now they're protecting Stixay, who's shoving top wave, and they're kind of executing not a 1-3-1, but a 4-1 where they can collapse and control the top side.
This Trundle pick for Wiggly has been so big as well. It's so much control over the map, especially with a Gangplank to help if anything goes wrong. And a side lane dive, frozen domain to skirt to each lane as fast as possible, especially since you have the outer ring down. Wreaking havoc here. Kanalachi Gaming takes down top side, and now they can move freely kind of down from across top to mid.
Yep, and this is going to be really rough for Deathly. He's going to have to find some good fights because Stixay, 70, 60 CS up right now, 62 CS up, has a decent level lead in terms of just 2,000 gold through his main too. He's doing a great job here on this poke Varus, where he's been avoiding a lot of engages, and he's just keeping his distance. He's got triple lethality item. He has the Edge of Night. And so he's pretty much gotten to the point where this is where the Varus will start to fall off in the lethality build. But nobody's really going to build much armor here. See what happens. Matt going in, bubbled.
Stixay throwing that Edge of Night. It seems like they were tempted to go in. 1 kill for him to start things off as Darshan says, over here, I got another party if you guys want to join in. Definitely in Contracts holding off. Darshan over the wall goes Huki, and definitely almost loses his life immediately from the Zoe pop. It looks like they get out to safety, but they are going to have to contest this Baron with numbers down. Lorlo does as much damage as he can on the bot side before he has to teleport.
Yeah, see if he actually does TP into this, because they've been kind of saying no to some of the objectives.
Teleport to mid, coming in from Deathly so they can approach the fight.
It's their closest ward. That's gonna be gone.
They cannot get in with the objective controlling composition. Golden Guardians, they are forced off due to the overall power of CLG. They're going to go ahead and trade a turret on the bot side to try and open up that map pressure.
That's all they can really get there. Lorlo decides not to TP in, holds it for later, and then that's the Baron over to Counterlogic Gaming. Now 5,000 gold up, and a fantastic spot here to try and close out their season. Even Huhi's Who he's feeling it right now, too.
Oh, there it is.
Majai is a soul stealer for himself. 7 stacks on it currently. Can he get to 20? 25.
That would be insane. Then you could miss all your abilities and kill someone as Zoe.
Do you really need a Majai's for that? No, anyway. Yeah.
Oh, it'll never end.
See if he gets to the 20. Of course, you only need the 10 to get to the extra passive.
Clear becomes so much harder for the Magic team. They're like, contracts, bring that shotgun over here so we can actually get rid of this minion wave. Bot lane's gonna be pushed in, so you'll see CLG with the cavalry in just a few moments on the bot side too. This is becoming very much of a stranglehold on the side of Golden Guardians Rift as they lose more and more ground.
Yeah, CLG, those double Infernals helping them out so much during the early parts. Now that Mountain Drake's kicking in, they get to take these turns quickly.
Yeah,
that was
real quick.
The travel ball. And push in the bottom, now push in the mid. Systematically going across and trying to prove that they can close these games out. CLG, their season has been early game leads, not able to close. But this is a lead where I would be incredibly impressed if they aren't able to close this 8,000 gold lead here. Granted, stuff like that has happened before for CLG, but the position that they're in relative to their opponents, in terms of pressure, I feel like it would be so hard for them to end up losing this one.
Light for Golden Guardians at the end of the tunnel. There is power on contracts with those 3 kills. Bobchin.
Yeah, very true.
It's so conditional that those 2 have to hit their ultimate perfectly here on multiple members. That's what makes the fights so much harder when you fall behind. You don't get those leniencies to miss a few abilities in a fight. 12-7 as 30 minutes ticks over on the clock, and Golden Guardians lose their first inhibitor with 1.5 minutes left on CLG's Baron.
Nope.
Through the shield, crack the armor right open. And now they're onto mid. Contracts forced to quick draw away. Lorlo doesn't have the Gnar bar to use onto this fight. And collateral damage just shot back from Contracts as they desperately try to clear these waves and deter CLG from pushing forward.
CLG are just relentless there. The Mountain Drake is up. They might go towards that. The top lane is something that they'll be able to go ahead and push in afterwards.
Yeah.
This feels like Mountain Drake, back, reset, spend all that great gold that you picked up from these turrets, and then go to the top side. And you can see, I feel like this is Stixxay backing, so he can already go to the top and shove the wave out, and they can kind of meet him there at the top side, or maybe even just get red before, but we'll see. He's got a lot of options available to him. Yeah. QSS, actually, stopwatch sold, QSS picked up, and yeah, he's going straight to the top side. He doesn't care about the red. He's not based on auto attacks. It's all spells here for this guy with the 452 Woo. AD. Which I think will go down after the Youmu's wears off. Nope. Nope, it's not. Okay, so he doesn't have celerity, which would give you AD off the movement. So he does have straight up 452 attack damage. Oh, wait, where'd it go?
What happened? Cyrene, don't kid the kidders.
Uh-oh. Oh, it was the Baron. Is it the Baron buff? Okay, yeah, it was probably the Baron buff. There you go. Because like the Baron buff timer in the top right corner was still there. It was off into
Investigated and detectified. Nice job.
Yep.
He and Huhi actually just went back to spend 2,500 gold. So you can see how long they were sitting on the Rift for. Now with that gold spent, it's going to hurt that much more when they swing their money bags at Golden Guardians. Looks like they're heading towards the top side to make the finishing touches on that last inhibitor turret. It's going to be harder to defend, but I think they might have some CLG members actually cutting in through that mid lane to pinch the last turret.
Yeah, but, oh man, you're going to have so many of these minions just doing the work for you.
Yep.
CLG, when you get one of the inhibitors, basically you have a 6th man. They have 7 people on this team.
Too many men on the field. 2 mountains and 2 infernals. I mean, you could ask for more, but you don't have to in that sense. Great objective grabs there as CLG was controlling most of that early game. And now with a 9,000 gold lead, the inhibitor takes damage. It's going to be falling now in favor of CLG. The final one in the eyes of Counter Logic Gaming as Golden Guardians do everything they can to defend the base. And over 1,000 damage combined as that arrow hit Matt and Bobchin. Ridiculous amounts of DPS coming in from Stixxay.
Yeah, Stixxay, he's done so much in this game. Those arrows are doing massive amounts of damage here. Whenever he lands one, it's both looking. Well, Matt's going in.
Oh, the storm goes in, and they are going to try their damnedest to save the game. Wiggly's in the front, kind of taking all the damage as a meat shield as Darshan moves forward to set up some barrels and set up shop.
CLG and Golden Guardians looking for their final fight of the 2018 season.
Very tentative for both. Lorlo wants in. A double sweep back as he lives with a sliver of health for moments. Then he goes down. Bobchin as well in the same sort. And he falls. Double kill coming in for Stixay. 3 still stand in that pentakill in his eyes. But there's a lot of health in between him and that pentakill. A Nexus turret with about 10% HP. And 1 full Nexus turret, keeping Golden Guardians alive.
Yeah, they're gonna focus this one down. Stixay just puts one more arrow into it. They gotta get that top wave over. There's 30 seconds on Lorlo, 30 on Bobchin. They're not gonna have reinforcements.
Such a patient Nexus take if I have ever seen one. Stixay's the damage and he goes down. We can see Darshan delivering a little bit, but he's gotta set up the barrels. Only the Qs are not going to do it. Contracts now with Darshan in a 1v1 as Biofrost tries to enter. The quickness is easily going to lock down Contracts as these guys are just pushing the end of the game to the limits, and they'll have a few more members soon as Huhi comes in 5 but does not have TP.
Yeah, but this might be enough. They don't really have a lot of damage for this turret, and they have melees. You can't hit it from afar.
This is the game that never ends, Irene. It continues.
Oh, please no.
Low.
It's gotta end at some point.
The slows will happen. This will just be the confidence in stopping the backs as the team can clear out the waves. I don't know how long CLG just spent in the base, but I'm sure some of Golden Guardians inhibitors are nearing that respawn timer as we now get a breather.
Yeah, because the Baron's about to come back up, and so they're a little bit desynced, like you said. And there she is, telling you that the inhibitors are going to respawn, and the Baron pops back up. So they'll get the Baron, the inhibitors will respawn, they'll be able to siege on CLG's side with a Baron buff, and then Golden Guardians will be able to make a second final last stand.
Now all Golden Guardian needs to do is find Lorlo a way to push that bottom lane so they can just get a backdoor, as we've seen so many at the end of the season.
Oh, that's a long lane though, Riv. That
it's very
so
long.
No.
They go there and put a ward now. But no, here's this fight in the base. Golden Guardians on the iron lung for this save.
Yeah, it looked like 6A didn't quite make contact there with his arrows 100%, but Biofrost trying to go in. Lorlo now sees the opportunity to jump in afterward and scoop him up. Sees they've gone a little too far forward, has the ball on him, jump, flash, scoops him up, then the ball comes through onto Huhi. They trade back. The Contracts actually hits Huhi before he goes back to where his portal jump was. So he gets him on the second half of it instead of the first part where he originated from.
Confidence and power. Stepping up to the plate, CLG brings himself to Golden Guardian's base once again. Magi's not working out so much for Huhi as he loses a few pages as Golden Guardians rips those out in the last engage.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the vision score from Biofrost. That is a
that's disgusting.
that is a fatty vision score at 36 minutes.
And it's good because I've always wondered, is mine good? Is mine bad? Oh, unfortunate. He gets the Zanyas off in time, so Matt is going to be able to keep himself alive. Hextech GLP forward for Huhi as he delivers a bit more damage. That keeps him in range for the Bane of Corruptions. The follow-up for Matt is unstoppable, and he cannot get away. Here we go on the inhibitors now as CLG look to put the final touches on the base and look for that Nexus.
Look for the final touches on their 2018 year. It's a disappointing one, missing playoffs twice, but if they can end this season on this last little high note with Wiggly doing well.
Counter Logic Gaming look to go 2-0 in their last week of the summer split, the NALCS here, and they will be able to drop the Nexus over Golden Guardians.
It's CLG 2-0 in week 9. They hadn't done that since week 4, and then there was that 8-game losing streak. Able to kind of right some of the wrongs near the end of the season, but it's a bittersweet one, to say the least.
Absolutely. It seems like it was actually a core that they have now as well that would have been something they found in the midseason to right that slump that they find earlier at a 500 point in the split. A little too late this time, but in a way, in a small way, this is that heading into halftime with your team up and you look ahead. You look towards what is next. It's a bigger gap than just a halftime, but CLG can look at this as a bright light.
Yep, and look at this as a bright light. Look towards the future. For Golden Guardians, again, another split at the bottom of the standings. 5-13 is their final record. And they will go 0-9 in the second half of the split. A winless second half when the beginning looked so good for them. With the 5-4, they were near the top of the standings. There were questions about, is this the Golden Guardians that's going to do it? They do a little bit better than last split, but it's not by much.
Not by much indeed. To get some more insight on that win, we are going to hand it off to Avali and Darshan.
Thanks, guys. Darshan, it was a rough split for CLG, but you were able to end it with a 2-0 weekend. Reflecting back over the split, what do you think the team could have done better?
A lot of things, really. I don't think I'd place it on one thing, but as I said in a previous interview, I think we were pretty slow to like try and change things up and really see like, hey guys, like what we're doing isn't working. Like, what do we need to do to win? Like, what do we need to do to be a championship contending team? And I think going into the start of the year, you know, we had players who had all won regions before. We had players who had all went to Worlds. So I think nobody really expected us doing this poorly. And I definitely think that things are going to be changing for next year based on our results. I mean, we just did awfully.
What would some of those changes look like?
I don't know exactly what the changes are yet, but I know that there's going to be like, things are going to be different, right? You can't just, like that quote where it's like insanity is just trying the same thing over and over again and hoping the results change. Like, things need to change, right? So I don't know exactly what that's going to be, but I know things are going to be different.
What kind of a change would you like to see?
A lot of different things, honestly. For me, like I'm always just focused on like what I can do better, and I don't think I was a good enough leader. I don't think I was a good enough player. I think I had a lot of issues with like drafting my champion well this last split, so I'm just really disappointed in myself for not showing good performances like I know I can. So I think the biggest thing for me is I just want to change myself and really come back next split with a championship mindset.
And you still have a lot of loyal CLG fans out there. So is there anything that you'd like to say to everyone who has stuck through with you guys?
Thank you guys so much for the support. I know things have been really rocky. Like it's been 2 years in a row that I haven't made Worlds, and I've had some subpar performances. So I just want to say that next year I'm going to do everything I can to make it count.
Darshan, thank you. And for more, back to the analyst desk.
Thank you very much, Avli. It's the end of the road for CLG, but they have a big uptick here at the end of the split. 2 wins back-to-back, both with Wiggly in the lineup. Darshan returning to it today in the top lane. So, you know, while the taste is obviously a bit sour for Darshan, I think they can look at some of the moves they've made here late in the split as maybe being a sign that change is to come.
Yeah, I think it's obviously too little too late for CLG. It was against Clutch and Golden Guardians that they won, and they weren't super dominant victories, so good for them to pick up the win for sure, but tough end of the split.
Yeah, tough end of the split. Wiggly looking good, though, and that airy Fiddlesticks not looking good, dying multiple times when a Aftershock might have saved him. But after that, they continue to snowball pretty well on the side of CLG. Wiggly showing up for almost every single play. Was snowballing the top side on top of this as well. Shut down Lorlo super hard to the point where GP was like level 5 to a level 2 Gnar or something like that. And that was mostly the plays off the back of him. There wasn't super clean, though. There were mistakes.
Yeah, this is where the game almost turned around. They do get the one-shot onto Deftly, but they burn Trundle ult, they burn almost all their CC, they weren't tracking Fiddlesticks, so they get a little bit caught here, and then Biofrost, I think, was waiting for a turn. He ended up dying later, but they had so much control. They got Baron buff, they got 3 inhibitors. It was kind of just a matter of time until they would eventually outscale and win. I mean, Golden Guardians took 4 copies of Scorch. For instance, they were very clearly going for an early game victory, and since that wasn't achieved, CLG, turn it on.
This is what happens late. I have to say, though, I was very impressed with Wiggly in both of his performances yesterday and today. So if I'm taking anything away from the final week for CLG, it's exactly that. Wiggly is a player we're going to have to watch both through the offseason and into the spring split next year.
Yeah, and we were talking about this kind of during the games. The offseason for teams who miss playoffs are long.
Very long. Yeah. Starting today, and the next time they play in the LCS is going to be mid-January, like 4.5 months from now. So 4 months from now, 5 months from now.
Don't do math on air.
Don't ever do math on air.
How many times have we been over this, guys?
It's been a long time.
It's going to be a long time until they show back up on the LCS stage, but that does mean that they have time to figure out and diagnose what went wrong, what to change in the off seasons. At this point, that I'd like to shift the conversation away from this game in particular and to some of the MVP frontrunners of the split. So I'm going to throw some names out there. We'll kind of work through them one by one. We're going to start with a player on the #1 team in the league, Doublelift.
Yeah, and I think he is kind of the front runner now that 100 Thieves has started dropping off, and the fact that they have solidified themselves after a great end to the last split, that Doublelift kind of emerges as the key focal player on the #1 team.
Yeah, a lot of times, sometimes with the best team as well, you have players splitting votes with other members of the team. I don't necessarily know if that would happen with Doublelift unless people are throwing votes towards X-Smithy, who's had some big games, but very near the top of the charts in all the 80 carry stats and on the #1 team.
But you and I were talking off air, and if we're being honest with each other, this is nowhere near Doublelift's best split, probably.
Yeah.
And it kind of feels like that Leonardo DiCaprio, Kobe Bryant award where it's like, well, he should have gotten it probably multiple times before this and hasn't.
Or at least once.
Right.
He's
At
been
least
in the
once
contention
before,
for so
hasn't
long.
got it, and then there's
Yeah.
no other great candidates ripping it out of his hands this split. And
But
so
it's tough because as well, Team Liquid just, while being the #1 team in the league is not the most dominant #1 team we've ever had.
Yeah.
So again, everything's kind of couched by that sentiment or feeling.
Yeah, and there's a lot of other contenders as
All right,
well.
who's up next?
Well, Someday is someone who was at the top of the conversation for a while and I think was definitely hit by the last 3 losses they've had. Not that he even played that poorly in those games. He's been near the top of the league in kills the whole split as a top laner.
Yeah, I think he's suffering a little bit from his team falling off because if you look at even the games and his losses, like a 5-2-7 Mundo.
His Jax today was great.
Yeah, his Jax was fantastic today. A 2-1-13 Gangplank, a 2-1-2 Mundo in the losses. And so he is an absolute workhorse this split. And I just think he might be hurt by some of the recent struggles of 100 Thieves.
I think that's another balance thing too, right? The idea of recency. That's always a struggle when it comes to voting. You end up kind of wanting to wait the final 3 weeks of the split, but remembering the dominance that he displayed in the first
909
half.
Aatrox.
I mean, that's absolutely nuts, and that's a big part of why 100 Thieves even had the ability to drop a few games here late in the split and still end up where they are in the standings.
Yeah, still have playoffs. Someday's also another guy who might be splitting votes with Aphromoo. Aphromoo was the spring split MVP after their 12-win regular season. This split, they're at 10.
It also just feels hard to give back-to-back MVPs to the same team when they're fighting for 4th and 3rd. It's just like a narratively hard thing to accept. They had 2 of the most valuable players in the league.
All right, next up, Cloud9. We're going to talk about 2 guys on this roster because I think there's an interesting conversation when it comes to all the roster swaps that happen. You've got Licorice in the top lane, the guy who's been there the entire split long. And then you've got Jensen coming in on the back half, putting up huge numbers, and bringing C9 to that state of being the hottest team in the league currently.
And then you even have Sneaky, who actually has a higher win rate, but his numbers haven't backed him up. So I do think it would be a conversation about Licorice or Jensen. If Cloud9 does get the playoff bye, these guys are actually going to be getting a lot of votes, I feel like. And to me, Licorice has been performing the whole time. And it doesn't matter if they had like ups and downs. They'd be on the 2nd best team, which is still valid for a top-performing top laner.
Right. I mean, it's basically the question of, like, do you value the guy who came in and it feels like was the catalyst because he has those monstrous games on Zillion and stuff like that turned it around? Or do you value the guy who's been there the whole time and also still have great performances? The 12-7-2 Aurelia in a loss where they built a whole team comp around him.
That gold lead average at 15 for Licorice is a higher gold at 15 than any other team in the LCS. Like, no one else is averaging a good gold lead.
That's stat for you right there.
All right, hold on. That's a bit of an unfair stat because his bot lane's not getting any help. So Sneaky has horrible negative CSD
Well, I
or
think
gold.
Cloud9's goal difference in 15 is like 700. So
Yeah,
it's
but I'm
almost
just saying that, like,
yeah.
that's how teams work. Is one person's getting the resources, so they should
but
have
his
the
point
lead.
is that Licorice's lead is greater than other teams.
Yeah, and I'm saying other
totally.
teams have to make a decision.
It's going to be like one
all
player
right,
on
so
every
that they,
team.
so that
one
they,
player-
end up, they end up net 300
Yeah, one player on every
but that
team
doesn't mean
frequently
another
has
player
more than
is
other
that
teams.
high. Okay,
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
you, I got you. We're going to step away
bad.
when we return. Echo Fox aims to take down Clutch Gaming, so don't go anywhere.
Also, PoE is in the conversation.
He is,
but we're out of time.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
We have to move on.